Thunberg hasn't really been in the news lately, with one exception. Right-wing men with big brains who feel the need to obsess over her like complete weirdos. Case in point, a recent episode of Tucker Carlson's Fox Nation show where a Daily Wire dude showed up and decided to attack Thunberg over her autism. Let's watch it and see what he had to say.
But the thing we all care about is making sure our kids are happy. And I think about someone like Greta Thunberg, right? Greta Thunberg is not a happy girl.
No,
we should
obviously.
not want more Greta Thunbergs.
No.
And there are activists out there who want your children to be unhappy because it helps them. And this is a girl she has Asperger's syndrome. I mean, she takes things literally, they know that. And she watched her school, she was in Sweden, right? So they have unions everywhere there. So the teachers decided to just stop going to work on Mondays and Fridays because it was like they're lazy. And so they start showing movies. And that's where Greta Thunberg sees this movie that says the world's gonna end in 10 years. And because she has autism, she thinks the world is actually going to end in 10 years. And so she becomes deeply unhappy and lets out this howl that lasts for 40 minutes. And the teachers' unions love it because they can use her and they actually give her an award. Student of the Year, Greta Thunberg, because she's so unhappy. We don't want more Greta Thunbergs. We don't want kids who are told they're oppressors.
Is that a true story?
It is.
That's horrifying. And so they use her for their own purposes, but they're leveraging her grief and her agony.
Correct.
Tucker Carlson in a festive fall sweater as we're entering the springtime. Anyway, just nice cashmere.
In his cabin studio, he's so populist.
Oh my, he's just like us.
Yeah, I don't know if he used the Swanson fortune or the Murdoch fortune to build that log cabin. It's pretending to be populist.
But I'm really happy that they got that super happy guy from the Daily Wire to talk about how unhappy Greta Thunberg allegedly is. By the way, amazing that he knows so much about the mental condition of Greta Thunberg when he doesn't even know how to pronounce her name correctly. But nonetheless, she has actually been open about where she is with Asperger's, and she actually noted that climate activism has made her incredibly happy. I want to go through these tweets, but more importantly, and this is what I want you guys to focus on when any of these stories come up, okay? Who's paying that bro's paychecks? Like who's funding this guy? Who's funding the Daily Wire? What's really behind this? Like why are they attacking a 19-year-old out of nowhere when she hasn't really been in the news lately? Her tweets, let's go to this tweet from 2019. When haters go after your looks and differences, it means they have nowhere left to go. And then you are winning, you know you're winning. I have Asperger's and that means I'm sometimes a bit different from the norm, and given the right circumstances, being different is a superpower. And I wanna go to graphic 3 here. Let's go to the next one, because I like what she says here. Before I started school striking, I had no energy, no friends, and I didn't speak to anyone. I just sat alone at home with an eating disorder. All of that is gone now since I have found a meaning in a world that sometimes seems shallow and meaningless to so many people. Well, unfortunately, shallow and meaningless is something that the super happy dude from the Daily Wire has opted to go for, especially when he gets paid by, oh, that's right, the fossil fuel industry.
Oh.
Yeah. So we looked into this. Our wonderful producer Kate looked into who funds the Daily Wire. And so the Daily Wire has a subscription model. They make money, in a way similar to us. However, the company started with what's referred to as angel investors. These are people who decide to invest into the company, privately or whatever. And here's what we know. One of the main funders is Luke Rosniak, and he is. Luke Rosniak is the Daily Wire guy that you saw in that video. He says that he's an investigative reporter probing waste, fraud, and dysfunction in the federal government for the Daily Caller.
He is, he's just trying to amplify it.
Right.
He's like, you got waste and fraud for the oil companies, they're paying us. Let's keep doing that. The culture war, take the money, take the money.
So it turns out that the initial angel investors of the Daily Wire were brothers Dan and Ferris Wilks. They're billionaires who actually made their money in fracking and the American petroleum industry.
So a lot of people have angel investors, and it's usually people they know, because who else is going to give you money, right? Family and friends. And sometimes there'll be little outfits that do angel investing professionally. When the Wilks brothers, who are some of the top fracking, they run one of the top fracking companies in the country and in the world, give you money, they're not like, oh, gee, golly gee, where should we put a little bit of investment? Just randomly. Okay.
Yeah, randomly.
Right. Oh, I happen to know super unhappy dude, I'll give it to him. Okay, maybe like if it turns out the Wilks brothers and Ben Shapiro grew up together, were in the same little league team. Oh, okay, then they're just angel investors, right? But it appears, no, they got what they paid for.
Yeah,
they paid for that kind of propaganda you just saw, and they received it.
Dan and his brother Ferris got a combined 3.5 billion pre-tax in 2011, selling their fracking company to a group led by Singapore-based firm Temasek. The brothers are also investing in oil and gas businesses, including Canadian oil field services company Trican Well Service. While both Ferris and Dan have given to conservative groups and candidates, it is older brother Ferris whose foundation has become a source of massive donations to religious right groups and to the Koch brothers' political network. Ferris also funds a network of pregnancy centers that refuse, on principle, to talk to single women about contraception. So very classy people. And so look, whenever, like again, what is the value? Like, what is the need to go after a 19-year-old climate activist? Well, is it because she threatens the very businesses that, and the profits that these fossil fuel companies get to enjoy? Yes, that's why they weirdly decide to like attack her. Like they're so hyper focused on her. And I go back to this point because I think it's a legitimate one. The right wing is super creepy. They just are. People like this are super creepy. To needlessly bring up Greta Thunberg and attack her relentlessly when all she's doing is trying to draw attention to the fact that we're making this planet a devastating place to live with rising sea levels, with ocean acidification, with extreme weather conditions. Like these people are gonna be fine. The people you see on your screen, they're gonna be all right. They got the fossil fuel companies shelling money over to them. They'll probably find ways to shield themselves from the climate catastrophe that we're already beginning to deal with, right? But for everyone else, people like Ben Shapiro have advice for you. If your community is dealing with flooding as a result of rising sea levels, just sell your house, because that's the world he lives in.
Yeah. So I had heard that video before, then I watched it, and I was so amused by the guys like, Greta Thunberg's not at all happy. He's got like weird, like evil eyes, and
I don't think his eyes look evil at all. I think that there's complete emptiness behind those eyes. Look at him. He's just like, this is my script, I'm gonna say it. She looks very unhappy.
Really?
Unlike me, I look super happy. I'm a very happy person, look at me. I'm getting it in, all the ladies love me. Like, come on. Come on, bro.
Anyways, yeah, whatever you think is happening with him, happy ain't it? Okay, and I love when Tucker takes a story that is very likely untrue and goes,
wow.
And he goes,
is that true?
He says, is that really true? Because you know what he's doing? He's protecting himself. It turns out it's not true, which is most likely in the instances that happens, right? Then he can say, well, I didn't say it was true. In fact, I even asked, is it true? And then when they said it was, I never said anything, right? He knows how to protect himself against litigation, right? But it makes it sound even more like, oh, is that really true? And it gets unhappy dude to be like, oh yeah, it's real. But although if you noticed, he paused a little bit. He didn't expect that question. When Tucker's like, is that really true? Unhappy dude was like, yeah, it is.
By the way, I want to give you one final piece of data that's important for all of this, because we're talking about the Daily Wire, the funding. We talked about the angel investor, right? The Wilks. Well, the Daily Wire, and this is according to their website. We pulled it from their website, dailywire.com. Graphic 7 here. The Daily Wire LLC is wholly owned by Bentkey Ventures LLC, which itself is owned by Jeremy Boring, Ben Shapiro, Caleb Robinson, and Ferris Wilks.
Huh, interesting. So the fracking dude owns Daily Wire. Interesting. But I'm sure that they're just concerned that Greta's not happy enough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they're rooting for her.
Yeah, totally.
And they just want her to be happier, and they think that she would be much happier if she was drinking an oil milkshake. Although the fracking guys do more natural gas, to be fair. She could inhale that. Wait for it. You think they're not gonna suggest it? Okay. Unhappy dude's like, no, trust me, I've done it, it's awesome. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.